Welcome back to Wait, What Do You Do Again? I'm your host, Megan DeFord, and as always, I am so happy we're here together today. It means a lot, and we want to grow this community, so please rate, review, subscribe, share it with a friend. It makes such a difference, and I really appreciate it. Okay, how are you? How are you doing? How is your summer going? I am recovering from a cold. It feels illegal to have a cold during the summer, but here we are. I am just hydrating and resting and watching a lot of World Cup. Go Cabo Verde, my new favorite team. All right, so let's get into it today. We are talking about something almost every person listening has experienced. You set a goal, you buy the planner or journal, you get a cute pen and stickers to go with it. Maybe you download an app and you tell yourself this time is going to be different. And then life happens. And 3 weeks later, the planner is sitting in your bag and the app hasn't been open in days. And now you're just giving up on this goal that you just set for yourself and you feel bad about yourself. And here's what I want you to know before we go any further. This isn't a you problem. This is an architecture problem. The problem is the way that you've been taught to set goals. You keep asking the wrong question. You ask, what do I want? And that's fine. But almost nobody asks, what does this goal require of me? What kind of life am I building because of this goal? We build goals in isolation of the goal, but reality doesn't exist in isolation. So what the heck does that mean? It means you've got work. Maybe you have kids, you have friends and parents and relationships and people that are counting on you. Maybe you have a nervous system that's been running on caffeine and cortisol for years. And then we wonder why this beautifully color-coded plan didn't survive a random Tuesday that threw you a curveball. And goal setting gives us the illusion that if we just make this perfect plan, life will cooperate. But spoiler alert, life rarely, if ever, cooperates, at least not in the way that we think it will. And this is when the plan starts to fall apart. And immediately you start judging yourself, thinking, I just must not want it enough. I need more discipline. I'm lazy. I always do this. Does that sound familiar? This isn't meant to be a definition or a judgment of your character. And so often, instead of investigating what happened, we start to turn back and attack ourselves. But let's unpack what actually happened. Your system broke. Or maybe you didn't build a system from the jump. It's important, like really important, to think about your future life when goal setting and what you want. But too often, when we build those goals around the end, instead of building them around your current real life, it falls apart. So here's what I mean. Say your goal is to run a 10K. You buy the gear, you download the program, you set the alarm for 5 a.m., you set out your shoes, but let's say you normally wake up at 6 a.m. So when that alarm goes off at 5 a.m., you can't get out of bed and you only get half the workout done. And suddenly that 10K that you were so excited about and prepared for feels impossible. You think, I'm not disciplined enough. I'm not a runner. I can't do this. But here's the thing. It's not a willpower problem. It's a system problem. It's an architecture problem. You built the goal around the end version of you that already wakes up at 5 a.m., who's already a runner, who already can do a 10K, not the version of you that exists right now. So what I would offer to do instead is start waking up 15 minutes earlier incrementally day by day. And during that time, build a workout plan that accounts for that, not one that assumes you're already there and awake. So do it during lunch or after work or something like that, right? So by the time you actually are waking up at 5 a.m., you haven't been failing over the course of weeks. You've been building in real time the whole way there. Start from where you are and build from there. So how do we do that? It means asking questions like, where am I already feeling overwhelmed? What season of life am I in right now? What resources are available to me? What support do I need? What obstacles can I predict today instead of pretending they won't happen? And then also, what is real and what is perceived? Because here's something I've learned in leading teams and in coaching women. Those who achieve incredible things are not the people with the most willpower. They're the people who stopped negotiating with reality. and they work with it. Problems you resist consume you, and problems you embrace dissolve. And here's one more thing. Your goal has to belong to you, not Instagram, not LinkedIn, not your parents, not your friends, not what you're supposed to want. If your goal isn't yours and connected to your values, you will abandon it when life gets hard. So we are all about inspiration with action here. So I want to leave you with something that you can actually do today. So go ahead and grab your notebook or open your notes app. And I want you to write down one goal, okay? Not five, just one. And then underneath that goal, I want you to answer these questions. And these will be in the show notes, okay? So these are the same questions that I use in my coaching relationships, in my one-on-ones. So number one, why do you actually want this goal? And keep asking why until you can't answer anymore, okay? So why do you actually want this? What part of my current life will make this difficult? And be honest. And then all those difficulties, what is real and what is perceived? What support would make this easier? Not possible, easier. And what's one action I can take in the next 48 hours? Not someday, not later, the next 48 hours. Okay, write that down and then put that action into your calendar. Schedule it. And I want you to text a friend who's going to be your accountability buddy. Tell them what it is, when you want them to check back on you, and have them hold you accountable for that, okay? And if you don't have a friend, you can send it to me over on Instagram at Meg DeFord. DM me what your goal is, what action you're going to take, when you're going to take it, and I will follow up with you. I promise I will do that, okay? I need accountability buddies, and I am happy to be an accountability buddy, all right? So the goal really isn't to become someone with this like perfect discipline. That's never going to happen. The goal is to become someone who keeps promises to themselves and builds an infrastructure that supports that. One decision and one action at a time. Because the women I know who are building lives that they're proud of, that they can sustain and achieve, they stopped waiting for motivation or for the perfect conditions to show up before they got started. They confronted their current reality, they created the opportunity. So if any part of this episode felt like I was talking directly to you, hi, hello, DM me on Instagram at Meg DeFord, and we can chat a little bit there about what you're going through. I'd love to meet you. So thank you as always for spending time together today. I love our chats. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Be kind to yourself and to each other, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.